there was one thing I forgot to mention. Dave asked me about scratch files. I don't have any scratch files. I use Final Cut Pro. It doesn't need a scratch disk. So I don't know about that. Photoshop, all that stuff, I just use my built-in disk, which is why I buy my MacBooks with at least 2 terabyte drives so I don't have to worry about scratching on externals. Anyway, let's get to the rest of this. I got a good question from my buddy Dave, and Dave wanted to know, could you do a video on strategies for using external storage like this? Because I made a video about an external drive, like organizing the data, shared drives, etc. I'm going to show you a couple of shortcuts that you can use to keep your stuff organized, and I'll get into the reality of it first. My organization system will not work for you, and somebody else's organization system will not work for you. I've tried it. This is so crazy and it's so controversial, but people don't understand. I have tried 50, 60 different types of other people's organization system, and it never works because you're busy training yourself on how to think like somebody else. It just doesn't work. So what I would tell you first and foremost is you don't have to overthink it, because search is so good on computers now.
That boy is good.
We're even getting AI search capabilities starting to be built into various OSs. You don't have to go hyper crazy. The one thing you will want to do is make sure you name your files with something that you will logically look for later. So you got to tell your current self, what will your later self look for?
Sticky note to self, do not forget sticky notes.
That being said, I got a couple shortcuts that I can show you, and one of them uses AI, and it's way easier than you think. So first, let me take you over to my Finder, and I'll show you, this is my external drive. I have, again, real basic naming conventions. So I have a thing for archive these. These are just files that I just need to put away when I get back home. I'm currently on a trip to Boston, and so I tend to dump this external drive before I come because I have the luxury of having about 40 external drives. So I tend to fresh one up when I start. But this is just, you know, my videos, my photos that I'm going to take, audio files, assets, and then delivered content. So once I render a file, I put it in here. It can all live in these folders. So these are just my simple folders: video, photo, audio, assets, content. Now, I'm going to show you how I simplify that in just a wee second. I also have an automator tool that I use to make these Osmo Pocket 3s because it generates the full res files, the proxies because the Pocket 3 generates proxies. I also have one for the backup audio for the Osmo Action 5, the full video and the proxies. And of course, I don't know why these are out of order, but there is the Osmo Pocket 3 audio. So these three, let's do something one up. Let's go ahead and make this one red. And those three are for the Osmo Action 5, and these are for the Osmo Pocket. And then take any panoramics or anything weird that lives in here. So I have this folder structure, and this was just a funeral that I just had to do. So those photos are in there. But that is about it. Like, I don't go super crazy, and I'm going to show you the automation part right now, and it's going to blow your mind how simple this is. So let's say you do scour the web and you find a file system that you might want to partake in. All you're going to need is a pen, a piece of paper. Where did my paper go? A piece of paper. Thank goodness for hotel pads. And you're going to need a ChatGPT. So what I did was I just simply wrote down my folder structure. This basically says trip master, and then underneath it, I wrote 01 video, 02 photo, 03 audio, 04 assets, and 05 content. And I just made a little outline thing like that. I don't even think these lines are important, but I made them. But anyway, I'll show you what I did. Let's pop over to ChatGPT. So I go into ChatGPT and I uploaded my photo. Okay. So if I click on this, maybe it'll show you the photo. There it is. So that's what I wrote. Trip master, audio, photo, video, assets, content. That's the whole situation right there. Okay. I said, write an Apple script that will create a master trip folder and label the 5 nested folders that will live inside that master folder. That is the entirety of my prompt. Now, after I did this, I thought it should be Automator, and I'll show you how I switched it, but that's basically all you need to do. And ChatGPT generated this Apple script, and you don't even have to know how to Apple script. I do, but you don't, right? So it just gives you this Apple script, and all you gotta do is copy it. It even goes as far as to give you the instructions to open up the script editor, paste the code in there, press the run button, name it what you want to name it, and you're good to go. And yeah, it worked. But then it gave me a better idea. It said, would you like me to adapt this into an Automator app? And I was like, yeah. Why? Because that's even cooler. And so it basically did, you go to Automator, you open up a new document, you paste in the Apple script, and you kind of run from there. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. Let's pop on over to Automator. And then let me get Automator in the front on my computer. So you're going to say you want to do application. That's the second icon right here. And you're going to say choose. And then you're going to come over to this variables and you're going to say run. And you're going to see run Apple script. Okay. And then you're going to put this here. Your Apple script goes in there. So I will paste in my Apple script. Don't need those. Let me do the whole thing. Did I lose my on run? Let me undo that. I'm going to paste my Apple script here. I just want to make sure it doesn't do return input twice, because sometimes it will do that. Okay, so you can check your code by hitting the hammer, and the code came out flawlessly, and then you can run it to see what's going to happen. But then all I do is go to the top, come down and say save. And I'm going to call this save for Dave. And then I'm going to save it on the desktop. Okay. So now we're going to go back to Finder real quick. And then let me go into my Finder, step back to the desktop folder. Look, there is a thing that says save for Dave. If I double click this, I get a dialog box that basically asks me where I want to put it. So I'm going to say desktop, right? And then I'm going to say choose. And then it's it. Bam. There's your folder. If I open this folder right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see it this way. All of these are good to go. So all you have to do, if you find some cool folder thing that you like, draw a picture and ask your favorite bot to write you a script that will make that for you. And the reason why this is handy is so that you don't have to do it over and over and over and over again. Now, let's just say in supposition, you're scared to do that. I'm going to take you back and I'm going to make it even easier. This is the easy, no-brainer way.
That was easy.
But not as much fun if you want to do something with more recursive folders, like folders that nest down like those dolls. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to Finder. And then let's just say you want to do it the hard way. Make a new folder. That's Command-Shift-N. And we're going to call this Dave. And we're going to call it May 25. Okay, so we're going to open this folder. Now you see why this is a pain in the tuchus. And we're going to go 101 photos or video. Then you're going to make a new one. And you're going to go 02 photo. See, this is why I automate things, because you guys know your boy don't type. 03 audio. 04 assets. 05 and then content. Okay. Now, what I would do is back out to the big one, and then I would call this month. And then capital, make it easy to know you want to change it. And then year. And then what you would do is right click on this and say compress. And this zip file will be your master. So all you ever have to do, let's throw this one away. Let's just say we're going to make a new folder here. And we're going to call this, let's call this Cancun, because I just came from there. You would make a copy of this into there, holding down the Option key when you drag it, and then just double click this, and it will open it. So actually I just did it inside. It didn't need to be in there, but I would do, and then 25. And again, you can move this wherever you want to once you're done. But if I open this folder, all of those are inside. My way, the nerdy way cooler. But even if you're like, I am super anti-nerd, I want to be straight muggle, just make the blank folder, compress it as a zip file, keep it somewhere where you can get it, and you can always just expand it, and you got a fresh new set for every project. This works for any type of projects, and I'll put links to some creators who have more elaborate setups. I just don't do that because, number one, I'm Oscar Mike, on the move 24/7. I'm always going somewhere, and I have probably 40 SSDs. I just blank one, grab it, go to town. And so, yeah, I know it sounds crazy, Dave, and you wanted some turnkey system that was going to make you cooler than you already are. You are the soup, bro. You really don't have to go that crazy. But if you want to, those are some tips that you can use. But I really do believe that the search that's built into macOS and iOS and Google Drive, I think these file systems are just dope nowadays. And I'm really cool with a couple of big folders with a bunch of stuff in it and go find them that way. You just got to remember, when you import your files, you name them then. And as long as you name your stuff, and I tend to do location and date, that's just me. I don't even get into what camera because all of that EXIF data is built into the app now. Like, it's all built into the files. So that is my setup. I even have one of those that I use for when I bust out a new Osmo Pocket project, and it's the same thing. It's just an automated script that spits out Osmo Pocket folders that I showed you, but it's the exact same thing, and I made a video about that a couple weeks back. I know it wasn't the answer you wanted, Dave, but that is my answer. I am curious if any of you have a more elaborate, more complicated, or more cool file saving system. Let me know. Maybe we can come up with a blended system to help out brother Dave, because Dave's a cool cat. Anyway, I don't know who needed to hear this, well, except for Dave. But if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. And right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them. ChatGPT does it again, fam. ChatGPT.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them